everyone. Welcome to Quick Hits. My name is Sean Peers, President and CEO of Dental Peers, and of course, your host here at Quick Hits. And I am excited today because I have what I guess technically speaking isn't a return guest because it's her first time on Quick Hits. But if you've seen any of the other webinars and things that I've done along the way, part of our Meet Our Partners series, this will be a familiar face to you. And you will probably know that now is the time. Fasten your seatbelt, strap yourself in because this guest comes with a ton of energy. We will be blasting off real soon. I am thrilled to have on Quick Hits the one, the only, Julie Friesen. Now, who is Julie, you might ask? Well, let me answer that question for you. Julie is a dental coach, author, speaker extraordinaire, one of what you would say is Canada's go-to people for looking for someone that can help engage and align your dental team and get everyone pointed in the right direction, working together. She does it because she's got a top-rated track record of training practices to achieve high returns in terms of improved profitability, return on investment. It is definitely worthwhile to reach out and learn from Julie. She brings with her more than 20 years of experience in the dental industry, where she's worked with dentists, with dental teams, all in terms of coaching them on dental skill sets, improving peak performance, working on workflow and efficiencies, and of course, all important leadership skills. And she does it, as you're going to see real soon, by making it real fun, and that helps make it real low stress. She can use those skills that she has and her energy and enthusiasm to help empower you and your team at all levels. And she's done it across Canada. She does it in one-on-one training with just you, with your practice. She does it with live online programs. And she even does it in this new fashioned way of going live at continuing education events, something we haven't really been able to do for a couple of years. You might find Julie at one of those. And if you do, you will be better off for it. So whether it's from behind the mask or working on frontline dental practice results, Julie is a leader in transformational knowledge and change. She has taken proven methods of success from outside of dentistry, combined it with her own knowledge, enthusiasm, and passion to make it possible for you to get more yeses, more successes from yourself, from your team, and from your patients. So without any further ado, welcome to Quick Hits, Julie Friesen. How are you doing?
Thank you, Sean. I am doing fantastic. Thank you for that amazing introduction. It's great to see you again.
It is always a pleasure to see you. We always have a great time. Sometimes I wish people could actually see just the conversations that we have even outside of recording sessions. I think they get a lot of educational knowledge and benefit just from that. But it's great to see you on a recording session as well.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much, Sean.
And Julie, you know, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today, where we wanted to go and things that we've been discussing ourselves is this overall sense that I think dentists are feeling right now, and I think it's been amplified by the pandemic. Dentists are feeling overwhelmed. It is stressful being the owner of a dental practice right now. Are you encountering a lot of that in your conversations out there?
Yeah, most dentists I talk to who are often feeling overwhelmed and stressed when it comes to owning a dental practice, they sum it all up to two things, Sean. Number one, that they're feeling so many responsibilities. Number two, lack of time to do anything about these responsibilities. And it's always on their mind and it can be hard to shut it all off. And you and I can relate to these feelings and to dentists, Sean, because we both own a business ourselves and are in the dental industry, right?
You know, and you've made a great point there with respect to that. I completely agree. And I think one of the things that I always try to hopefully provide dentists with a little bit of peace of mind on that front is they're not alone. It is not something that's unique to dentistry. All business owners, particularly in the world of small business, struggle with that same sense of feeling overwhelmed, that same sense of how do I balance all my time with all these responsibilities that I have. And I think, you know, I think there's a solution to at least help make it better. And what do you think? What's that solution?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think number one, we get it. We get it. Being in the dental industry 20 years as a certified dental assistant, treatment coordinator, practice manager, team leader. I've experienced firsthand what it's like to work in a fast-paced, often highly intense, multitasking environment that dentists work in, and the emotions that it draws. It can be very stressful. As a business owner myself, I understand how overwhelming it can be to wear so many hats, from managing the day-to-day workflow to making sure the schedule's full. Then we want to make sure the managing cash flow, emails, handling those, phone calls, to marketing. And then there's that whole social media piece. We got to keep active on there. There's always so many things, and that's just to name a few, to doing the job itself. There's so much to do and so little time. And then there's the whole piece of this, managing the people, the team. It can be frustrating, deflating, and ultimately all those things can leave us feeling burnt out. And let's be honest, when we own a business and we're trying to do it all on our own, there'll be times we just want to throw in the towel and, basically give up, right? But the fact that many dentists are here right now, that they're watching this session right now, it tells me that they're not satisfied. That dentists, you know that you can have more, be more, do more. You wouldn't be here otherwise. You can have more free time, more practice growth, more money, more time. The question then becomes, how do we do it? How do we go from feeling overwhelmed and stressed to having that freed up time and growing our practice? And I suggest one way is through effective delegation. Effectively delegating tasks is essential when you want to, get your control back of your time and create more practice growth. The truth is, most of us know that delegation is good in theory. It can be hard, however. The problem is to put it in practice, either because we don't know how, or we don't want to give up control, or the other part, the last part, we don't think anyone can do as good a job as us. But the good news is today I'm here to share some essential tips so that you can learn how to delegate the right way. Dentists, you'll be able to use these and implement them right away so that you can start going ahead and getting that freed up time and that practice growth that you desire and deserve. I've helped dentists all across Canada with these techniques, and some of these techniques are what we're going to talk about today. And plus, I got a bonus at the end, a few little tricks up my sleeve and treats. So you want to stick around till the end for that.
I really enjoyed listening to that. I was thinking as you were talking and describing that, it's sort of the irony, because you kept talking in terms of all the different hats that dentists have to wear in order to be able to operate a practice. Because let's face it, there's so much more to achieving the practice of your dreams in the world of dentistry today than would have been the case in days gone by, let's just say. So we are looking at dentists having to wear more and more hats, but at the same time, if you really want to achieve more in the sense of more free time, more profitability, more job satisfaction, you got to find a way to actually wear fewer of those hats and maybe pass the hat along. And that's where we get into that idea of delegation we talked about. But I think we both know that delegation is not just a pass it on and forget about it type situation. There are ways to do it right, and there's ways to get it wrong. So if we're going to really focus on getting the benefits out of delegation, what do we need to focus on to making sure we get it right?
This is such a great question, Sean. And in fact, discovering and identifying some of the key benefits of delegating and this is the crucial part, and why they are important and valuable to us, I suggest this is the first essential step to delegating the right way. And I am excited to unpack some of these key benefits with you and to shine a light on a fresh perspective on what a delegation can do to free up time and grow a practice. So I put together some of these key benefits for us on slides so we can look at them together. As we go through some of these key benefits of delegating effectively, I encourage everyone who is watching to write down the words, the thoughts, or the phrases that come to mind that stand out for you, that excite you or intrigue you about delegation. because by identifying these things, we begin to figure out what's important, what's valuable, or even necessary for us about delegation, which in turn will help us to move forward with delegation with more confidence, more direction, and clarity. So here we go. When you think about what delegation does, if you are the dentist, and here we go here, is if you're a dentist, it frees up your time and energy. You will get back control of your time and where you get to choose to use your energy. I love this. Delegation helps us to have more consistency. It allows us to balance out our day. Number two, makes space. Make space to increase your own work efficiencies. And I love that term, Sean, makes space. There's something really special about that. It's a fresh perspective. You will be able to be more focused. Delegation helps you to be able to personally be more productive with your time and energy in your practice and on your team. And number three, it improves your personal effectiveness. Effectiveness means you will achieve more in your practice. You will get more of the results that you want. When we are spread thin, it's hard to be effective, and delegation helps with that. And here are some real hidden jewels. You're going to love these, some hidden jewels. The fact is, delegation is more than just freeing up our time and making us more personally productive. Importantly, and get ready to write some of these down, delegation empowers the team. It gives freedom for them to use their talent. It boosts engagement of their work and creates responsibility. I love this combination of words: creates responsibility and increases job satisfaction. And when delegation is done right, and I'm going to give you a tip on how to implement effective delegation into your practice in just a moment. But when delegation is done right, take a look at this list and write down what grabs your attention. It goes ahead here and it builds trust, improves communication, cultivates teamwork, balances workloads, increases productivity, and drives success. And here's one last point that about delegation that I want to share. It's a big one. So if you have not been writing anything down to this point, grab your pen. You don't want to miss this. Delegation gives us emergency. Here it comes. It gives us some emergency backup. Emergency backup that someone else knows and can do the job. As business owners, we don't want to be indispensable. Which means we don't want to be absolutely necessary. We can't grow that way, and nor can our business. We have to be willing to let go of some things so that our businesses, your practice, keep rolling even when we're not there. So at this point, everyone should have a nice list of reasons of the benefits of delegation and why they're important, valuable, or necessary for you, and that can help you move forward with clarity and confidence with delegation. And I like this last part. I call delegation a triple win. A triple win, Sean. It's a win with freeing your time, a win with your team, and it's a win with growing your practice.
I love all of that. And, it's so hard for me to sort of focus on just one element when I'm unpacking all the great benefits that you've just outlined. But if I had to, if I really, really had to, the one I would really focus in on is improving communication, because let's face it, that is always a big one. It seems to be the common thread in any office that seems to be underperforming. You go in and there can be individual complaints that team members might have that are unique to a particular practice that you don't hear from one location to the next. But the one you hear over and over and over again is we really struggle with communication. We have no idea what's going on. We need to know more about what's expected of us. And when you are going through a process of effective delegation, you are doing just that. You are creating that process whereby improved communication, it becomes mandatory. You can't effectively delegate without, at the same time, improving your communication skills.
You nailed it. Knocked it right out of the park with that. I 100% agree with you, Sean.
So we know this. I mean, and you know, I think a lot of dentists are probably sitting there going, yeah, I've heard that I should be delegating more, that I shouldn't be trying to do it all myself, but we still get some resistance. We still have dentists out there struggling with it. Like, why is it they struggle with it, and how do we help push them past whatever that sticking point may be?
Well, with the extended demands of owning a business, growing a business, running a business, it's just impossible for us to do it all on our own, even if we wanted to. But however, sometimes, letting go of some control, that can be the biggest challenge. But when you are wanting to free up your time and grow your practice, letting go of some things is necessary. So coming off the heel of that first step, which is, understanding what the key benefits of delegating are and why they're important to us, can be a great springboard for a lot of dentists to shift into what I call a delegation mindset. One struggle we can come up against when it comes to delegating is the self-talk that we have about it, the self-talk that prevents us from moving forward with delegation. And I have some self-talk examples from some dentists that I've coached, some examples that, that they say to themselves when it comes to delegation. So see if you relate to any of these as I read them out. So number one, I do not have enough time to delegate. Number two, I need to be in charge or control. And this can be for a variety of reasons. Some dentists will say this, and this is the very common one dentists will say, nobody will do it as well as I. Or what if I not need it as much anymore, which interferes with their feeling of, meaning and status and importance. And then the other part, what if it's done well and I don't get credit for it? So these are a whole bunch of stories that we tell ourselves about delegation, and that are based on false interpretations of concrete evidence. And the problem is these stories prevent us from moving forward and getting our goals, which freeing our time or growing our practice. So I suggest one of the first things we need to do to be able to get past struggling with delegation is to identify, recognize, and name these stories, these invisible conversations that we are having with ourselves. Because these in turn, these conversations will help free us up. And we can be worried about what? Maybe it's having control. We're going to lose that control. Or maybe we're worried about, again, that it's about pride, or we're not feeling valuable. So that's the first step that I would say to do, is go ahead and identify that. Number two is this: get clear, get focused or refocused on what we ultimately want to achieve with that free time and practice growth. What do you want to have? What do you want to become? What do you want to do intellectually, financially, relationally, health-wise, whatever it is for you? Don't just think about it. Write it down. Write it down. It's scientifically proven. When we write things down, we get more focused, and we become creators of our future. And importantly, and here's your fire. Importantly, underneath what we want is to write why. Why do you want it so bad? Why do you want to achieve these things? What will you gain? What will you avoid? Because when we know what our reasons for the why is, when we know that, that's our fire, that's our determination, our courage to keep moving forward with delegation. Remember, your ultimate goal: free up time, practice growth. Delegation is the center circle of that. Gaining clarity by writing what we want and why we want it, importantly, is the first step to having it. We must be willing to master these fundamentals to be successful. So do what it takes. And when you struggle, with delegating, and that self-talk begins to come back in, so and it will, you'll have this list. You'll have this list to refer to, and it will remind you of what you want, why, and importantly, why you want it, and how effective delegation is the solution to that. And the best part, Sean, you're going to love this, is you get all this determination, this courage, this fire, this power, all by doing some simple steps. Isn't that amazing?
I absolutely love it. And I loved your list. I loved that real list of examples, that you've heard from dentists. And I'm sitting there thinking about it and unpacking it as you're reading off some of the items on that list, this idea that, I have to have control, and I get that. And I always sort of say to dentists, so many dentists, they struggle with this idea because their business, it's their baby, right? They started it, they grew it, they were there when it was just this little seedling, and they're helping it to sprout and grow. It is their baby. Well, like our babies at home, our babies grow. And we always have to delegate more and more responsibility to our kids. Our babies grow up to be young kids. They grow up into toddlers, into little kids, into teenagers. And every step along the way, we want them to be fully fledged, beautiful adults. And we can only do that by giving them the authority through delegation to look after some of the aspects of their own lives. And it's similar to our business. If we want our business to sprout and grow and mature into that beautiful business and that we know it can be, we have to be prepared to pass on some of the responsibility through delegation. I just love that idea about, some of those things that the dentists are holding on to. And even that one about what if it works well and I don't get credit? Well, you do a lot of leadership training. So I know right off the bat, you're thinking, exactly. And leadership is about that. Leadership is about sharing that credit.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And that can be, it's a whole fresh perspective and a new mindset really to what delegation is, what it can do for us. And when we get so clear by writing these things down, we kind of can have that aha moment, which can really push us forward to getting our goals.
And so now, knowing all that, we've covered, we've done a pretty good job covering a fair bit of ground in a short period of time. So where do we take it, and how do we get to that ultimate guide to effective delegation, to make sure that when people are out there and they're assigning responsibilities to other members of their team, how do we make sure they're doing it the right way?
Well, this is a great question. Sadly, in our short session today, we don't have enough time to go through my complete step-by-step guide to how to implement effective delegation into a practice. There is a right and a wrong way to doing it, but all those who are watching, you can get in touch with me. I'll be happy to help you with that. But here's one thing that most dentists miss when it comes to delegating that will make your delegation more effective and get you and your practice better results. So once you have decided on what to delegate and why, and then you've picked the task and you've given it to the right person, it's about following up. That is essential follow-up. And that's usually a swing and a miss for most dentists. And it's the number one reason that delegation fails, or it's not effective, or it doesn't meet our expectation, or it's working well below potential. And then we get that self-talk at the beginning that comes, smoking back in, right? We begin to have those doubts. Too often when it comes with delegation, by the time we're ready, we just want to get off our plate and forget about it. But delegating tasks may free up our time, but it doesn't mean that we're no longer responsible for it. We still need to monitor it. And I use the word monitor, not micromanage, because there's a big difference. And to help with that, I have put together a little bonus, for our session today, Sean, a little treat. Are you ready for it?
Bring on the treats.
So here it is. It's on a slide. So drum roll, please, Sean. Drum roll here, and we're going to move it on to the next slide here. So here are my 6 rules as a dental coach that will help you have a killer follow-up meeting. So number 1, commit fully. Set a time. Be consistent. Put it in the books. No cancellations, ever. Never, unless you're on vacation or there's a death. That's the only 2 reasons. So number 2, create valuable time. Be prepared. Make an agenda and make good use of both of your time. Number 3, celebrate successes. Acknowledge achievements. I recognize hard work and that it's paying off. And this is going to boost motivation to keep going. Number 4, have 2-way feedback. So listen as much as you talk. Be open, creative, strategic when you work together. Be flexible and willing to make adjustments. hold each other accountable. I love this one. It's a two-way street. Keep focus, be productive. You will get better results. And the final one here, keep raising the bar. Set new goals, set timelines, make it a game. Make it like a game. It can be really fun to delegate and to follow up and see how far you can go with results. So these are six of my rules for killer follow-up meeting. Delegation will free up your time, no doubt, but implementing an effective delegation follow-up system will maximize your team and your practice growth results. And I'll end with this, Sean. The bottom line is this. Your practice shouldn't be your life. Your practice should provide for your life. You don't work for your practice. It should work for you. It shouldn't be a burden. It should be your freedom. Nurture it, care for it, grow it. And I believe effective delegation, it's a game changer. It really is. So leverage it. Get the time and the practice and the life that you desire and deserve.
Love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the follow-up idea. I mean, that, as you said, is a #1 killer in whether it's delegation or so many other aspects in the business world, in dentistry. You cannot simply pass it on and then forget about it. There still has to be follow-up. Like you say, you still have to be accountable for those duties and responsibilities that you may have delegated. And you know, you've covered it beautifully. And I really, really appreciate the thorough nature that you did to be able to pull that off. That was fantastic. And I love that even right off the bat, you know, people want to get a hold of you. You've already given the way that one of the ways they can do it there. All they've got to do is go to your website that you've listed there, www.jfdentalconsulting.com. And if there's any other delegation related questions or other matters, they can find you, right?
Oh, absolutely, Sean. You bet. The easiest way to get in touch with me is on my website. You've done a sneak peek into it. So I'm going to encourage you guys to go ahead and take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of this slide with your phone. So it makes it super easy. Once you're on my website, you can just go to the top, click on contact. It will take you right to my email. You don't have to type in an email address. It's all done there for you. And if anyone would like help implementing today's solutions or others, contact me and I'll be happy to hop on a free call to discuss more. If you'd like to learn more about how I can help you, I invite you to click around on my website and check things out. You may also want to take a quick screenshot of this. Here you'll find some other options for getting in touch with me. So many of you are reaching out to me on a regular basis. I would love to hear from you too, learn about where you're at and help you get to where you want to be.
I certainly encourage people to do that. I know I do myself. I'm in regular contact with Julie, whether she likes it or not.
Julie, I love it.
Julie, thanks so much for your time and for being a guest here today. It was, as always, wonderful to spend time with you today.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be with you, Sean. I have a lot of fun and I had a lot of fun today. Thanks so much for having me. And thank you so much to all the dentists who watched today. I look forward to hearing from you.
And that wraps it up. Another edition of Quick Hits. I hope everybody enjoyed it. By all means, please like this video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns that you'd like to raise with respect to that, please enter them into the comments section. By all means, feel free to subscribe to the Dental Peers channel right here on YouTube. That will make sure that you remain up to date with any time there's any new postings going on. You will be notified. But until then, when I come back with another mystery guest, and I never give that spoiler alert as to who it's going to be, you're just going to have to wait and find out. We'll be back. So thanks for joining us right here on Quick Hits. I look forward to seeing you back here once again. Take care, everyone.